Let's talk about judges today. How much power does a judge have over our lives? Welcome back to Part of the People. I'm Estel Martinez, and judges. I think is a very important topic that we talk about because the vast majority of people seems to have this overwhelming fear about a judge or about the judges that they encounter in their criminal cases. It's very important to understand that judges are public servants. They're here for you. They work for you. We vote them in. They're in their place because we vote them in either directly or indirectly through our votes or the votes of our peers. And but they made no mistake. They work for you. The problem here is that we decide to give them all the power. And so the power that they have, the power that we are so afraid of, only exists because we give them that power. How do we give them that power? By not doing our research, by not learning more about the way the judicial system should work, or about the rules of the court, or about the laws that they're trying to charge us for. And so I think there's a few elements that play into this fear that we have, and we need to get over it. Uh, they work for us. Make no mistake, they are public servants. They are here to serve you. You are the public, and so you hold the power. You give them that power when you decide not to do the homework, not to learn a little bit more. And guys, I know it's overwhelming. A lot of times we're afraid of what could happen. We're more afraid of our future than anything. And so we have the tendency to leave that to a professional. Unfortunately, we're looking at a much bigger corruption at play. We're looking at judges taking advantage of their position. And so they will use everything in their power against you, including attorneys. Now, we've already talked about attorneys. If you haven't checked it out, I have another video I just posted yesterday about attorneys and about 3 ways how the court system uses your own attorney against you. If you haven't checked it out, go back and check it out. 100% a judge, a corrupt judge, will use your own attorney against you. And a lot of times the attorney plays along, whether they do it purposely or not. Maybe they just fear for their jobs, for losing their jobs. I don't know, but they all do. And so I wouldn't put my trust in an attorney. If you decide to put your trust in an attorney, do your homework, learn the laws on your own so that you can then talk to your attorney and help put a plan together that's going to make you happy, because otherwise they'll take it, they'll run with it. A lot of times these are orders coming from the judge. Now, there's not a whole lot of information to prove that. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of us fighting this to compile enough information to prove it. But I it happens to be a very strong belief of mine. In fact, I want to say it's more than a belief. I'm actually putting together a lot of information to prove that as we speak. I'm not ready to expose that yet. I'm not ready to put it out there, and so I won't. But when I'm ready, I'm going to put it out. I'm going to create a video. I'm going to put all the information out to prove to you how attorneys do not work in your favor, and they're working more for the judge and more for the prosecution than they are for you. And so it's very important to understand that we are giving that power to them. We're giving this power to the judge. The judge, in turn, uses every everything he can. He uses your attorney. He uses the prosecution. Uh, he uses everything at his disposal to fight against you. Should judges do this? No. And I'm trying to figure out exactly who's playing who. There might be evidence that the prosecutor, which is the district attorneys, is very possibly at the very top of the pyramid. and possibly they're the ones pulling the strings, and the judges are the puppets, and the attorneys are the puppets. Who knows? I'm still working on all that. I'll put it out as soon as I get the evidence. But until then, I want you to understand that that plays a big factor. Number two is that we're not doing our part to expose what's going on. And so a lot of you guys might have gone through a criminal hearing in the past and you weren't happy the way it ended up. You know that the judge was making the wrong call. You know that certain things were not being done legally and honestly, but you don't know enough about the laws and you don't know enough about the system to be able to identify that corruption. And that's where we fail, is that there's not enough of us doing this exposing of the corruption, and so they're just going to continue doing what they do. Now, I have been looking at individual cases, and it's pretty pathetic and it's pretty sad how open uh, these judges are to breaking the law, violating our civil rights right in front of us. They don't care. Why? Because there's not enough of us exposing them. And so, and we'll talk about, talking about other people that have the knowledge and that have fought this or attempted to fight this. They will all tell you the same thing. Their oversight committees, which in this case for judges is the SCJC, the State Commission on Judicial Conduct, they don't do anything about it. You could submit a complaint to them. They won't do anything about it. They're becoming very blatantly open about not doing anything about the complaints that they receive, and that's pretty sad. Once more, we're coming back to the same idea of there's not enough of us exposing them and taking this far enough to make some real change. So that plays into the fact that we're not doing our job to expose the corruption. So here at Power to the People, we have three goals in mind. We have one, we want to make sure that you're able to identify when there is corruption at play. Because that's the first step, is understanding all those times that you've been in court and you've thought to yourself, there's no way that this could be possible. There's no way that things can be run this way. You are possibly right. And we have to, everything works on a case-to-case basis. We have to look at each case individually, but it's very possible that you're right, because there's a lot of times that they don't do the things that they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to do them. Number two is to educate you guys enough and get you confident enough to do your own research, do your own homework, read up on these laws, read up on the rules, and go out there and fight your own battles. Because that is the surefire way that you're going to win your battle. If there's any chance of winning, if you are 100% innocent and there's any chance of winning, the only way 100% that you're going to be guaranteed to win will be if you learn to win your own battle, learn to fight your own battle. Because if you put your life in the hands of an attorney, a lot of times that's going to be a 50-50 chance. There's a 50% chance that he's doing everything he can to put you in a hole and set you up for failure. A lot of times they will play it in a way that it makes you feel like they did everything they could and you got away with what you could. Many times that's not the case. So let's be wary of that. And then the third thing is, once we get you to identify the corruption and get you to win your own battle, we want you to join us in exposing this corruption going on. And so that's going to be play a very important part in the changes that we're going to bring to the community, is by exposing all the corruption that's going on, by getting you to identify in your own case. And if you want to look at any other case, all this is public information. You can look at all the cases you want. I myself am digging through a pile of cases that have gone through Cameron County here in the last couple of years, and I'm going through each individual case and looking at all the corruption that I could find within those cases so that I could in turn come back and do something about it. So I encourage every single one of you to do the same thing. Keep watching the videos, learn to identify the corruption, learn to fight your own battle, join us in the fight to expose all the corruption, all the corrupt officials in your county. And this, I'm in Cameron County. If there is any of you guys out there in Cameron County listening to this, share this video, share it to your friends and family. Make sure everybody gets it. Make sure everybody's following, because we all need to play our part in this attempt to correct what has been wronged in our community. But not just Cameron County. If you are from any other county in Texas, if you're from any other state, this will give you a good baseline to look into your own courts and see if you could identify some of the corruption and follow some of the steps that I'm going to be taking here in my own county to expose corruption in your own area. So hope everybody's following. Hit that subscribe button. If you're a judge, an attorney, a prosecutor, I do this on every video. I challenge you to post a comment, leave something down there. I'm exposing you all. Tell me something. Say it's not true. Try to make your point. Let's discuss it. If you're a viewer and you have a horror story on how your judge treated you, leave your story in the bottom. I want to hear about it. Let's discuss that. Until next time.